You told me before that you were a carver. What's your specialty? Do you work with bone, or wood, or flint?
With flint, young man, and I'm happy to see you're interested.
They say you can recognize a good flint napper by the flint he chooses. Is that true?
That is true. Knowing how to choose a good piece of flint is the first important step. And in fact, you're going to try your hand at it. But afterwards, you mustn't use the wrong tool. All right, enough idle chatter. Show me what you can do. Prepare a flint for me.
I'd love to, but I really don't know much about it.
I'm sure you'll manage with all that. You did very well. Give it to me now, and I'll show you how to nap a blade.
Tor's gestures were perfect. I realized how lucky I was to take a lesson from such a virtuoso.
Here, Arak, take this knife. It's my way of thanking you for the meal.
Thanks very much. This blade is perfect.
You're welcome, but you had your part in it too. The flint was very well prepared.
I found some stones around here that looked like they'd been worked. Have you ever seen any like them?
Yes, these are musical stones. I found one too, and a bone that'd be perfect to strike them. You take them. I'm not very talented for that. I prefer chiseling stones. And of course, if you want to play something, you'll need at least 5 different sounds. Otherwise, it'll quickly become real boring.
I'm going to try to reach that dwelling up there. Do you know which way to go?
No, but I think that the signs left pretty much everywhere ought to help you find it. Safe journey, Arak. And who knows, perhaps we'll meet again.
Thanks again, and have a safe journey. At last, my efforts were rewarded. I left with my belly full, armed with a magnificent dagger, and firmly convinced I was on the right path. Tor is full of good advice, but I don't see how these symbols will help me find that dwelling. These symbols resemble those I just discovered. The entrance must not be far. Hello, I'm Arak.
Good to meet you, Arak. I'm Tika. What are you doing here?
I'm looking for a painter. Perhaps you could help me?
Maybe. But first, we have a tradition here that you should find amusing.
Tell me.
No, that's just it. It's up to you to tell me the story of your life. Every newcomer has to introduce himself to the clan first, using objects to illustrate his tale. If you don't have what you need on you, don't hesitate to help yourself to what you find in the den. This custom allows us to begin an exchange, even if the traveler doesn't speak the same language we do. I see that we can understand each other, but I do so like stories. Every newcomer has to introduce himself. If you don't have what you need...
Believe me, it isn't easy to catch a fish. My trip began when I was hunting a stag. Unfortunately, I was not the only one who had decided to go out hunting. A lioness, who was after the same prey as I was, finally chose me for lunch. I took refuge in a cave, and that's where I picked up the trail of Clem. To find him again, first I had to get out of the cave. I had to make an astonishing weapon to vanquish that wild beast. Free at last, I went through the mountain on a path that Clem had spoken of way back then. It's a genuine labyrinth, decorated with red and black hands, which ends in a shaft. I climbed into the shaft, hoping to find a way out, but... When I got to the top, I found myself in another cave where a huge bear was sleeping. I couldn't kill an animal that majestic, so I found a way to make it flee. I just had to cross one last pool before I got to the valley, and it's a fresco depicting stags that guided me to the exit. Once in the valley, I was famished. I decided to go fishing. I think that this time, I've at last managed to get my memories in order. Now I just have to find the objects that will best illustrate my journey.